You ever notice how much God existing looks remarkably like God not being there? Let's do this.
I understand that you're suffering. I don't suggest that I know precisely what you're going through and all the emotional stress that you're facing, but as a human being, I do know something about what suffering is like. But also there is a God, the infinite personal God, who loves you, the God who is not indifferent to your suffering. It is not his intention that you should have to suffer. This is not the way God intended humanity to live.
So, let me see if I got this one right. We're not living the way the all-knowing, all-powerful God intended. So the all-powerful, all-knowing Sky Daddy made a mistake. The perfect God somehow messed up? Something there just doesn't quite work right. Explain that one to me, please, if you can.
So he is the one who is available if you will look to him for his grace, for his comfort, for his mercy. I do believe that, in a sense, that God weeps with us in our difficult times.
He weeps with us? What good does that do? Allegedly, the dude can build entire universes and he weeps with us? Gee whizzikers, that makes me feel so much better. Yeah, if I've got a medical condition, I'd be a lot happier if he'd use his magical powers to make me feel better. But no, he's gonna cry. Thanks so much, God. Yeah. And you notice, God weeping with me seems a whole lot like him not actually being there or doing a damn thing. Can you imagine why I might not believe in the fucker? Huh?
Now you may be questioning as to that if God is that way, why didn't he stop it? That's not the way the world is. That's not what God has ever made a promise to. His promise is that if we know him in a personal way, he never leaves us and he never forsakes us. That his grace and comfort is always available for us.
Grace and comfort? Really? Honestly, explain to me, what is the difference between your God's grace and comfort and your God not being there? Unless something that your God does manifests on the physical, there's really no difference between you getting grace and comfort and you talking to yourself. Your God doesn't seem to exist at all, and you're really just getting your comfort from your own imagination.
We have a God who is not indifferent to what is going on, but he is also a God who is true to himself. He is true to what he has given man. I give you freedom of choice within boundaries. If you use that to do wrong, then somebody is going to suffer. God may intervene and reverse circumstances. He can do that. I don't say he can't.
When? When has God done this? I have never heard of an actual modern day instance, say caught on camera or something, where someone's about to do wrong, maybe punch someone's lights out, shoot them, I don't know what, and God stops the bullet. You know, magical intervention where we can actually say, aha, yes, that was clearly divine intervention. Well, I've never seen an instance of that, ever. Have you? Come on, you just said it's possible. You've just said it happens. Give me an instance. Ever. Please. I'd love to hear of one, you know? Because that's what I'm all about. Objective, empirical, scientific proof that there's at least something paranormal out there, even if it's not actually God. I'd love to hear about something where I can just say, okay, there's something out there that goes beyond what we would necessarily call the rational scientific world. I'd love to see it, but I never have, ever, and you're claiming it's possible. Show it to me. Show me something that goes beyond fairy tale books that honestly no one can verify. Show me, please. I dare you. I double dog dare you.
But I don't think that's the rule. I think that's the exception. But he's always there with his care, with his love, his comfort to see that we can get through this.
Well, gee, real helpful with the divine pat on the back, which might as well be God not being there. I mean, this is why I'm an atheist, because there's no reason to suspect God actually exists. You know what I'm saying?
There are going to be consequences when those who decide to fly their planes into the trade towers, once they made that decision, there's a causal relationship. If they are at the controls of the plane and they have the power, the skill to steer that plane, it's going to hit the trade tower. That's the way we live. We live in a causal relationship. There's what we call cause and effect. That's what I mean by a causal relationship. So I'm not suggesting that God planned it to happen, because I don't think he did.
Do I need to once more point out the all-knowing, all-powerful aspects of your God's alleged nature? Yeah, either your God does not possess those traits, or you're wrong about your God's nature, or your God had a hand in 9/11, or your God doesn't exist. It's one of those, pal. Pick one.
Whatever happens on this planet is allowed by God. Nothing has ever caught God by surprise.
Wait, what? But you just said earlier...
I'm not suggesting that God planned it to happen, because I don't think he did.
And you also said...
This is not the way God intended humanity to live.
So it seems to me that if there is a God, shit most certainly can happen without his permission or his intention. Either that, or you're wrong, or there isn't a God. Pick one.
God knows precisely what is happening. So that leads to a really most fundamental question. If God is an all-knowing God, and God's an all-loving God, why didn't God intervene in some way?
Yeah, which one seems more likely? That an all-knowing, all-powerful, all-loving God sat back and did nothing while humanity screwed each other over and did all kinds of atrocities? Or that God really isn't there?
God gave man the power to choose good, to choose evil. And there's nowhere in the Bible that God has commissioned himself or committed himself or made a covenant relationship where he says, every time a bad person makes a bad choice, I will intervene so that bad choice won't have consequences. Well, then we would realize that wouldn't be real history, would it? That would be something else.
That wouldn't be real history? What does that even mean? What, that would be something... What are you talking about? Of course that would be real history. I mean, it'd be a very different kind of history. It'd be more like something out of sci-fi or fantasy, but it'd be history. We'd be talking about a divine spirit that intervened every now and then, a great hand reaching out of the sky, but still, it'd be history. Of course it would. What the fuck are you talking about?
So, if man is going to have this ability to make choices, real choices, to choose to do good, to choose to do evil, then there must be a way in which that really works itself out in everyday life. And unfortunately, it is very ugly. Now, the only option that I see to avoid that is to have man have no choice at all.
Well, then, with all due respect, you, sir, are an idiot, because that's not how it would work at all. That's very black or white thinking. We wouldn't have no choice. We would have a wide range of choices. We could choose absolutely anything we wanted as long as we didn't hurt anybody else deliberately. I mean, okay, if we made a choice that accidentally hurt somebody and we felt contrite about it, we felt genuine remorse, okay, fine, mistakes happen. But if we deliberately harmed somebody else with intent, well, then we're the bad guy, and yeah, maybe if there was a God, he, she, it, or they might intervene, might say, no, stop. Hand in front of the face, I'm stopping you now because you're being an evil rat bastard. Yeah, okay, I could see that. But otherwise, we'd have every other option available to us. every other option. How is that having no choice at all? No, I'm sorry, but if you think that the only option is us having no choice, if the only way for us not to commit any evil acts whatsoever is for us to have no choices, you, sir, are a dumbass.
That would seem to me to be a horrible state of affairs, because if I had no choice, I could never love. And the one thing that we all desperately sense we have a need for is to love. And the concept of love in and of itself requires that man have a choice.
Really? 'Cause I've never chosen to fall in love. It's always just been something that kind of happened to me quite against my will. Yeah, in fact, there's been a few times I wish I hadn't fallen in love. Thank you very much indeed. I could point to a certain ex-girlfriend or two. Yeah, point is, no, falling in love, not exactly a choice. What you do about it might be a choice, but falling in love, not so much a choice. More and more, I'm kind of regretting responding to you, 'cause you're not exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer, are ya?
So to remove choice from mankind, yes, maybe it would mean we wouldn't have evil, but it would also mean we couldn't have good. It also means that we could not have what we all so desperately want, and that is for someone to love me.
You want someone to love you so desperately? Try taking off the bow tie. I think about the only person who can make that one work for them is the Doctor from Doctor Who. Just saying. Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please, think. Please take the time to rate this video. And hey, if you dig what I do, subscribe. And please visit my Zazzle store, where you'll find all kinds of BionicDance merchandise. I'd rather be an atheist smartass than a religious dumbass.